I'd like to introduce Dr. Craig Hauser, who's our Vice President of Scientific Resources, and we'll talk to you about the amazing core facilities here at the Institute that partner with the labs and the faculty. So I will turn it over to you, Craig.
I just want to say that I'm an example of someone who's taken a career swerve from running an academic research lab to administration. And I've been here for 35 years, so clearly I like it. Anyway, in the first slide, or the next slide, please. So what I'm going to talk about is sort of the technology aspects of the Institute and how that can help you in your career as well. So I have a rhetorical question here, where do our core facilities fit in? And I guess the point that I want to make is that there's a lot of technology beyond the lab, and how do you access that, and how do you really expand your world? And I know when I was a postdoc, I pretty much stayed in my lab and focused on what we did. And I really did not appreciate as much as I should have, getting more access to different technology in other places. So our cores can help accelerate your research progress, and they can also give you access to cutting edge technologies and training on how to use it. So we have this core system here, which is a very well-equipped centralized resource that provides both research services and will provide you training in how to use advanced technology. Next slide, please. So we have 9 shared resources, and these are just very brief summaries of what they do. We have a large animal facility, almost all mice, and they perform all of the animal husbandry, breeding, weaning, tail samples, and then you can also get injections, procedures, and imaging done there as well. So it's really very full service, and it's not the responsibility of trainees to take care of the animals, but simply to have the animals to work with. We have a cell imaging and histology core, which provides all kinds of microscopy, including 2 super resolution microscopes now, multiphoton confocals, and a variety of other kinds of imaging tools. We also have a histology facility, which does tissue sectioning, slide staining, scanning, archiving, and also helps you with tissue procurement. In structural biology, we have a protein biophysical analysis, which has become important in drug discovery, where they look at KDs and on rates and off rates of small molecules and proteins. We also have a cryo-EM facility, which is now being used for not only basic structural biology, but also structure-guided drug discovery. Flow cytometry, we have a variety of tools, analytical flow cytometries, including a spectral analyzer, imaging cytometry, and of course, cell sorting. Genomics does next-gen sequencing. They also do the library preparation. They have strength in single-cell sequencing, and we're expanding more and more now into spatial transcriptomics. Our proteomics core has really advanced mass spectrometry tools, and they can do anything from identifying what co-precipitated with a protein of interest to global proteomics or even phosphoproteomics. Bioinformatics provides data analysis, data mining, biostatistics, and also helps you make sense out of all the omics data that you get in the other cores. We have functional genomics, which has different technologies, but is increasingly focused on CRISPR libraries, both pooled and arrayed, and can help with all kinds of cell engineering and provide viral vectors as well. And finally, we have cancer metabolism, which provides analysis of metabolites, metabolic flux, and cellular respiration. Next slide, please. And as Linda alluded to, we have this Previs Center here, which has about 50 people, and Michael Jackson will talk to you shortly about it in detail. But it really is the Institute's comprehensive center for drug discovery and chemical biology. It was developed with over $100 million of NIH support and really has the expertise to do all phases of early drug discovery, as you can see there. Next slide. So there are some important features of our cores, because pretty much everywhere you're looking at will probably have core facilities, but many of those places, the cores are simply an extension of someone's lab, and they will help you if they have extra time and if they like you. Our cores are really designed to serve the whole institute, and that's what their job is. They have dedicated core staff, and they equitably help all researchers who come in the door and need help. The full-time core directors, the people who live in these cores, are mostly postdoc trained researchers who are the experts at our institute, really in the theory and practice of their technologies. So in addition to providing service and training, they help in grant and manuscript writing, experimental design, data analysis, interpretation. So they're really the go-to expert that you can just walk down the hall and get all this help from. Most of the cores offer a choice. Most of the cores offer a choice of full service, just giving you data back, or training and then allowing you to independently use their equipment. And finally, the services are affordable for labs, as we're an NCI designated cancer center, so the costs are subsidized by the Institute's Cancer Center Support Grant, as well as the Institute. In addition to the cores, and we have a lot of centralized common use equipment. So it really is our Institute philosophy to make all of this technology accessible and centralized so that the labs don't have to duplicate all of this technology in each lab, and they can focus on the specialized technology that they want to do. So common use equipment we have scattered around pretty much all of our buildings include high-speed centrifuges, ultracentrifuges, gel duct equipment, including luminescence and near IR, nanodrop specs and microplate readers for all different kinds of outputs, shaking incubators, sonicators, qPCR instruments, purified water. So lots of centralized equipment to utilize as well. And I should just make a note that we have centers and we have programs, but none of these really represent barriers at our institute. They are more conceptual interest groups. They're not geographical locations. And you're welcome at our institute to use any one of these pieces of common use equipment in any building. They don't belong to any particular subgroups. Next slide. This just shows how compact our campus is. At the bottom shows where all the cores are located, but you can see it's a very small cluster of buildings. Towards the top right of the large picture, you can see there's a parking lot. We have abundant free parking, which makes us very popular for meetings in the La Jolla area. And then there's one building that's just at the bottom of the hill here, about 1/3 of a mile away, and that's the one in the top left. So altogether, we're very close together, and most of the campus is accessible within a 3-minute walk from anywhere. The last slide, please. As Linda pointed out, we have an incredible density of research here, and you can see the oversized Sanford Burnham Prebys logo there. But in the top right, you can see all of these academic institutes, UC San Diego, Salk, Scripps, Sanford Consortium. And to the left, you can pretty much see any biotech company you've ever heard of. And this is just a small snapshot of what fit into this photograph. I've seen estimates there are over 600 biotech, biopharma companies now in the San Diego area. So it is really a tremendous opportunity, not only for these resources, both technical and intellectual resources, but also for future employment. And many people come to San Diego, love it, want to stay here, and find ways in biotech, biopharma to achieve that. So with that, I'll go to the questions.
Any questions for Dr. Hauser? I will say that we are right across the street from the Torrey Pines golf course as well. So it's, and then just beyond that is the ocean and the Torrey Pines nature reserve. So it's a really nice area.